All right, next up, we want to do a couple of the guys who maybe didn't get the shine, maybe didn't find the end zone, but they did the dirty work for this Concordia team in the trenches. Ayo Tifase and Gavin Scott. All right, Gavin, I got to start with you because you are rocking the T-shirt with the giant ring right now. I mean, how proudly do you wear the T-shirt, you wear the rings? How proudly do you walk around after that championship?
I feel very confident in myself after that. I feel like all the hard work we had definitely paid off. And waiting on a third one. Just going to try and fill this hand up by the end of college.
That's not a bad thing. Well, speaking of college, what's up next for you?
So I'm still undecided, but I am looking at Shippensburg, Kutztown, and Stevenson.
All right, maybe Stevenson staying in the area as well. But on that O-line, you guys obviously had a fantastic running game this year, and we know when people might come watch you play or you watch the highlights, maybe you guys aren't getting most of the credit, but you guys deserve a lot of the credit. So how much of a unit was that offensive line this year?
So it changed a lot throughout the season for sure, and I'd say towards the end around Gilman maybe. We really started clicking really well. We hung out a lot outside of practice and school, and our bond grew really close. And after that, we started working together really, really well.
Well, first I'll say you guys look bigger here than you do when you're looking down from the press box. So the offensive line, there were a couple of games you guys came out in the second half, second half, and you just ran the ball down the other team's throat to start. I think there was like 2 or 3 games late in the season. Was it stuff that Coach Joe told? Like, was there a change in the game plan? But all of a sudden there were giant, gaping holes that the running backs were just taking it and going. Did you guys do something different? Start second half?
I'm going to give all the credit to Coach Battaglia for that one because he has the best speeches I've ever heard. He can really get a team hype for sure.
But as we learned from Keenan, we can't know what's in those speeches, but that's okay. That stays between you guys.
Oh,
yeah.
We'll keep that
stays in the locker room. That stays in the locker room. That's fine. Let's give it over to Ayo for a sec. We're talking O-line. We're talking D-line. Would you rather, now this might be an easy question, would you rather pancake a guy on offense or beat an O-lineman on defense?
Man, we'll beat an O-line on defense for sure.
Yeah, when you get the quarterback on the ground, like, any better feeling?
I don't even know. There's nothing that feels better than the adrenaline in my system is just like, this guy's on the ground, like this is me. This is my finished product,
I've talked to a couple of your fellow defensive linemen about this, but you guys were one of the most dominant units in the whole conference on that D line, and a lot of teams need to send 6, 7 guys to get pressure. Like, you guys did not have that issue this year. How big was that for the rest of the defense? Just knowing, like, Coach Batts, the defense, like, you guys could send 3, you could send 4, and pressure be on the quarterback.
I know from a defensive lineman standpoint, I could already know that the linebackers and safeties and DBs or whoever was in the backfield were very mad this whole season.
You guys were taking away any chance of a sack that they were going to get.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
You were making sure the sack stayed in the D-line room, right?
Only D-linemen only.
Well, you guys came up big a number of times. There was always pressure. Every big situation, you guys were back there. And if you didn't get the sack, you got the pressure, which made it easier for the linebackers and safeties to cover. So, I mean, it's a credit to what you guys did up front.
Definitely. I think like a defensive, we didn't really I know our defense was always good, but we didn't really click, at first. It was more of a, while everybody's trying to find their position. And, after a couple arguments, after a couple, little fights and games that we almost lost, we got together and we can't do this anymore.
So when you played the first game against Loyola, and we know how the regular season game against Loyola went, and then you guys came back and regrouped. When you guys, the first series, you guys came out against Loyola in the championship, you guys were flying around the field. You look like a completely different defense. I mean, it was like everything revamped. You look like the early Ravens with like Ray Lewis and guys flying all over the place. How did you guys, the momentum just carried on through the game that way?
Are you talking about championship game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, championship game is like, it's not something that you get every year. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that you have to build up to. And if you're building up to something and you're at the last moment of what you can get, and this is what you want, I don't think there's anything stopping us at all in any way.
There was nothing stopping you guys this year. I wanted to give it back to Gavin for a sec, because just because you got all the championship gear on, I had to ask you this. So when I got to the stadium at Calvert Hall for the championship game, walking into the gates, there was a couple Loyola students walking in, and one of them was asking his friend, he's like, where is everybody? Because, I mean, it seemed like you guys had a better supporting group maybe at the end of the day than Loyola did at the game. And he said, yeah, all my buddies said it's going to be a blowout like last time. It's not worth showing up. So I just wanted to hear your thoughts on that, because at the end of the day, I mean, they got 3 points that maybe they shouldn't have even gotten on that first drive, and pretty much you guys dominated from end to end.
All right, so for sure, that entire week, we knew we got blown out that week, or the couple weeks before, and I'm pretty sure it went through everybody's head that we had a lot of work to do that week. That was the best week of practice I'd say we had all year for sure, and everybody was watching film through school, like throughout the school week. Every day after school, we would work really, really hard to fix every mistake we could, and we kind of changed the game plan towards the end. We all stayed quiet before the game, and we walked across the field, same 100 yards we had at our home field. And I guess in our heads, it was a lot different. So
it was definitely different. So I got to ask you, favorite moment of the whole season?
Whenever Everett Dingle ran out the back of the end zone, and I knew we had it.
Definitely had it. Give it over to Ayo one more time. I wanted to ask you first before I get your favorite moment as well. What's up next for you after graduation? Football, non-football, anything?
Yeah, 100% I'm playing football after college. I'm totally undecided now, but I have some good things coming for me. 100%.
I think we saw this season that it was clear that you're playing and people are going to want you to play football at the next level.
Yes, sir.
And I got to ask your favorite moment of the season. Was it the same one, Everett running out of the back of the end zone?
Man, I love Everett, but I got to give it to myself this time. My favorite moment is when my Sonny Matugi had he didn't play that game, St. Paul. So I kind of felt like all the weight was on me and KK to try to make Terrell to make it like a big game. We lost one lineman. So we're in a heated game. The scores are a little bit low. In the backfield, I sacked the quarterback for 20 yards back. So it was like that moment was when I had to call God. Yeah.
Stepping up, next guy up, and helping your teammates out and making those big plays. Ayo, Gavin, thank you so much for coming up here. Congratulations on a fantastic season and a championship.